thank you guys for being here. Everyone's always like, Matthew, you're really on YouTube? And I'm like, yes, I'm really on YouTube. And they're like, what about all the haters? And I'm like, no one watches these videos anyways. So if there's haters, hey, I'm doing something right. Who says that? So at the end of the day, welcome to my home. Look how beautiful this is. Are you kidding me? Right along this old rail trail that used to run all the way to the lake. Checking out a potential building site for mine and my wife's new home. But that's not what you guys came here for. My name is Matthew Blaine, and in this video I'm going to be doing kind of like a first initial review of the Canon 16-35 f4. It's not going to be a really detailed review or specific getting into nitty-gritty specs, because I've only had this lens for a month or so and haven't had as much time to use it as I'd like. But I'm just going to tell you guys my initial thoughts and what I think about it so far after having it for about a month. So I picked up the 16-35 because I'm a wedding filmmaker and I love to get those big, wide open establishing shots, and I also enjoy doing tutorials and vlogs and things like this, and the widest lens I had was a 24mm and it just wasn't doing it. As a filmmaker and photographer, it's always important to have a variety of different shots, so like tights, mediums, and wide, and able to tell the whole story. Which is why one of the reasons that I picked up this lens, because it just didn't have a really wide lens. One of the reasons that I picked up the f4 version of this lens over the 2.8 version is because of the lack of USM stabilization that the 2.8 lens has. So the trade-off was having a smaller aperture and vibration control versus a wider aperture and no vibration control. Come on. Hey guys, welcome to my home. I'm gonna be living out here in the woods now. Can't quite stand up, so I might need to think about raising the roof a little bit. Hey, welcome to my crib. Over here we have the kitchen. We're running low on food, so I'm definitely going to have to get out of the house soon, head to the store and get some food. But over here, let me show you around. We have this really good spot right here to play hide and seek. Bet you didn't even know I was there. So after just reviewing a couple of those clips that I just filmed, I noticed that there's some jelloing going on in the background, and I'm not sure if that's because of the image stabilization from my Mark II, or if that's from the image stabilization of the lens. So I turned off the Mark II image stabilization to see if that will eliminate that. I really hope it does, because honestly that handheld footage with that gelling effect is really annoying and honestly not professional, and I would never be able to use any of that footage for any professional projects. One of the things that you have to be careful about with wide angle lenses is distortion. So like when you're filming or photographing people, right now I look super distorted just because the focal length is really wide, and it doesn't make, I don't know, I think it makes me wider, I don't really know. It does some weird distortion and my arms look super crazy long. So you just need to be careful about that. It's definitely not a great lens for when it comes to portraits and taking pictures of people. It's more so for wider areas. One of the reasons that I picked this up, when I'm out on the trail, I really want to have a wide angle so I can really capture the landscapes or the scenery that I'm at. One of the things that I'm most passionate about is landscape photography and just being outside and getting outdoors. I apologize ahead of time if you're not finding any value in this video. I'm just a guy living in my parents' basement at the age of 28. So I'm just trying to make videos on the internet, you know. So cut me some slack if you don't like my content. So every once in a while I keep walking past people on the trail and I'm like super embarrassed about it. How do you guys get past that? It's just really weird. Let me know down below, what do you think? So if you're an individual who needs a wide angle lens for inside shots that you can't really control the lighting, like a lot of times I will film wedding receptions, right? And the lighting's really poor inside, so it's almost impossible to film the reception with a f4 lens because it just doesn't let enough light into the camera. But to counter that, I also have a 35mm 1.4 lens that I use for those scenarios, so I wasn't really too worried about buying the f4 version of this lens, just because I knew it wasn't necessary to have the 2.8 version of this lens, because I already have a couple other 2.8 and 1.4 lenses that I should be able to get the job done with. So at the end of the day, ultimately photography and videography and filmmaking and all that good stuff is just a way to really help me get outside and really kind of relax and just no, this is not a self-help video. I'm just telling you my thoughts as they're coming out of my mouth. I just love being able to get outside and really just breathe. There's something about being outside that just, something about spring and the grass growing and, okay, I'm done. Do any of you guys ever feel that way? Or is it just me? Am I weird? I think that this is gonna be a great lens to have in my bag, just because the fact that it has image stabilization, so I can go a little rogue when I'm just traveling, hiking, whatnot, like days like this. So I really hope that this video has given you guys kind of a good picture of what this lens looks like video wise, at least with the image stabilization and whatnot. So if you found value in this video, please consider subscribing. Help me get out of my TP house and into a real house. Thanks for being here. Remember, life's better when you get outside, and I love you guys. Have a good one. We'll see ya.